Welcome to part 3. This is basically the help first close final video, and the question now is, what do you actually say? So I'm going to share the script with you here, and we're going to talk about the mindset still, because that's obviously going to be an ongoing issue here, because it's a challenging thing, right? It's not an overnight thing, but I'm going to share with you the mindset, as I said, and the steps in the script, and it starts with this that I said in the last video. I was walking outside, I'm inside now. You must genuinely expect nothing in return. This has to be embedded deep inside so that you understand that you're not hoping for a sale. You realize that authentic generosity is rare. As I mentioned, not everyone will buy. And goodwill spreads faster than sales pitches. That is for sure. This is about reciprocity. Give value, value, value. ROI, as I said, comes from doing a few of these. Don't expect 100% conversion. I talked about that in the last video as well. So here's the opening script. What not to say and what to say. So don't say, I'd like to offer you a free consultation to see if we're a fit to work together. No. But you say this. Hey Bill, I noticed you're working on your Facebook ads. I got some time this week and would happy to hop on a call and help you fix it. No charge, no strings. We can knock it out in about an hour. Interested? Now, you want to get a little more specific than just say Facebook ads. If you've done a little bit of research, maybe you've dove into their funnel, maybe you signed up for their email list, etc. Provide a little more juicy detail there. Next thing is, during the session, you want to talk about what you can do for them, but no selling. So don't say, so as you can see, this is what I do in my program. It's making about the offer. That is a no-no. So instead say, okay, so here's what's happening with your setup. Let me show you exactly how to fix this. Follow along. You're going to do this yourself. And tell them you're going to record the session so they can go back to it. Make it about them and solving their problem. So, as I said, there's sessions 1, 2, and 3, topic 1, 2, and 3, or it might be related to a Facebook setup, to a creative setup, and a conversion setup, and it could be all Facebook. I sort of used a example of different points of work last time in the previous video. You can schedule that as appropriate, right? So, would you like to work together? Here's my pricing. That's a no-no. Say this. Hey, great, that's it. You're all set. Problem solved. If you ever need help with anything else, just let me know. Happy to point you in the right direction. Then silence. That is the beauty right there. I'm telling you, it's so exciting because most of the time they come back and say, yeah, let me get back to you. I'd like to see what you have, or what do you have, etc., etc. So this is where you move into the scheduling. So this is what's going to happen next, and still don't expect it, right? So the self-select is what I talked about. This has been amazing. Can you help me with X? I'm realizing there's a lot more to this. Do you take on clients? What would it look like to work with you ongoing? And your response, if they ask, is absolutely. Let me share with you how we typically work with clients that have similar goals as yourself. Does Thursday at 11 a.m. PST work to discuss what that might look like? Boom. That's a hot lead right there. But some won't buy, and that's okay, as I said. They might say, thanks so much. This was incredibly helpful. They might refer you to somebody else, often a better fit. Don't ask for it, though. They might come back in 3 to 6 months when they're ready. They might just be grateful, and that's enough. I talked about that in the previous video too. They might just say, thank you, that was awesome, and move on. No ill will. It's all good. So, the ROI here, out of 3 people you help, maybe 1 becomes a client. I talked about the 40% out of the 10, which is actually better than the norm, which is about 20%. Maybe 1 becomes a client. That's 5 to 10K in your high-ticket world. Maybe 1 refers somebody, maybe a 5-10K referral. Maybe 1 just says thanks, priceless goodwill. Total investment, 9 hours, total return, $15,000, and a reputation for genuine help. This is all about goodness and money, yes, but goodness all around, and that's where you want to start. So the simple explanation is, it's like when you're nice to somebody at school and you help them with homework. You don't say, now you owe me, you just help. Some become your friend. Some tell others you're helpful. Some just say thanks. All of it is good because you were generally nice, not fake nice for something back. I mean, that is so good. Back to my lemonade example at the first video. I talked about it there. You can go back and watch it. This was all about providing value, value, value. So this works best for the right person. You want to make sure that you're targeting the right person, that you're following up with the right person, that you're speaking to the right person for the help first close. So it doesn't work for people without a business. I have to be honest with you here. I have, because of my good-hearted nature, I have tried to help somebody here, and they don't really have a business, but they have a lot of experience. Don't do that. You can't do magic, okay? They have to have a business, okay? Complete beginners starting from scratch. They need foundations, not fixes. Now, these guys could be a great sort of audience opportunity for you to bring them into school or a Facebook group or any training that you might have. That's okay. Beginners, we've all been there. They're going to scale up at some point. Tire kickers with no budget, completely get them out. People with bad attitudes, get them out. They might have the money. They might seem very interested, but you notice that there's some behind the scenes issues going on. You got to snap into it and snap out of it. Those unwilling to work want you to do everything. That's a classic one in this business. You probably have seen it if any of you are watching. Yeah, this is classic. They're unwilling to work, yet they say they will work, and they start pushing everything your way. The ideal candidate here has an existing business, has proven business, and not just for the last 6 months. They've been in the trenches for at least a year, 2 to 3 years preferred. Revenues coming in, it's consistent, it's predictable, even if it's small. Is actively working on growth, so they're really getting after it, right? They're not just thinking about it, they're actively pursuing it. Has a specific solvable problem. Stuck on Facebook ads, email setup analytics, I use those as examples. They might have a specific issue dealing with scaling, okay? That's an issue. They are already doing well. Maybe they're pulling 50 to 100K a month, want to move to 300K, can't figure it out. ROAS is out of whack. The ROI is not happening. Too many leads coming in, not enough sales, meaning closed. Willing to learn and implement, coachable, takes action. An absolute yes, yes, yes on that one. Right attitude, grateful, not entitled, excited, not desperate. Another triple yes. Budget exists, may not hire now, but could afford you later. The budget is interesting, right? Yes, they need a budget, and high ticket is the 2 to 10K to 25K mode, depending on what you're doing here. And if they have everything else, and everything checks off on the right side here, the ideal candidate, but the budget is tight, you can figure out financing with them that are options that you can pursue there, and that's not an issue, actually. So how to qualify? So you want to be asking some key questions, and we typically do this through a form, so an application form, where you tell me about your business. So what are you currently working on? Do they have an actual business? Of course, we're going to check that. What's the specific problem you're struggling right now? And what we'd like to do is get on a session where we can actually solve it. There might be some very large issues here we can't solve in 45, 60, so try and bring it down to more micro manageable tasks there. Have you tried anything to fix it already? Are they actually doing something or just talking? This also might be another question of, have you worked with somebody else at this point, another agency or another vendor? How did that work out, right? What happens if this problem doesn't get solved? Is it urgent, important? Yeah, urgency is interesting because I've been on calls and we've had a great conversation and the team is excited on both sides. We're ready to go. Yeah, but we're not ready yet. We're probably 3 months out. So do not forget to ask this. Are you ready to go now? Or what's your timeline looking like? The red flags, we definitely don't want to go here. I'm just getting started, don't have any clients yet. I tried X, Y, and Z, but nothing works. That's a chronic complainer. I don't have time to implement. Won't do the work. Can you just do it for me? Wants a handout, not help. Red flags, red flags, red flags. Green flags, perfect candidates. I'm making 5K a month, stuck at that level. We work with larger companies. 5K a month is small to us. But this is, let's go back. This is something that you have to look at for your business. If you're starting out, that might be workable. I've tried a few things, but I think I'm missing something. Is the next one on the list here. I'm willing to put in the work. I just need guidance. I could fix this, but it would unlock so much growth. So there's some green flags, but there's some question marks here as well. We might want to consider fixing before we move on. You don't teach somebody to ride a bike if they don't have a bike. You help somebody who has a bike but can't figure out how to balance. That's who you help, people who have something but are stuck, not people who have nothing and want you to build it for them. Okay, so a quick example from real world here. Had a client who came in through an ad, and they basically loved the ad. They loved the experience of talking with us, and they weren't quite ready, but we liked what they were doing, and they had long experience, but they were just branching into Facebook ads. So what we did is we did one and a half sessions, so a full 60-minute session, and then a 30-minute follow-up, and they ended up signing up 2 months later. So not an instant one. It's a perfect example of somebody who had it together somewhat but needed help. We gave them the help. They loved it. 2 months later, lo and behold, signed. So the final truth here is the help first close isn't a tactic. It's a mindset, and I keep going back to that. So you want to help people genuinely here, expect nothing in return. The right people will see value, trust you, and either hire you or send you somebody who will. The wrong people will move on, and you will help them move on because now you know what to look for and how to screen them out. And that's perfectly okay because you helped somebody today, and that matters. Tying it right back to what I said at the first video of the series, this is the third one in the series, is we're on this planet to procreate, to stay alive, and to give back to your community, whichever community that is. I know that sounds a little woo-woo or airy-fairy for a moment. That's not what this channel is all about. But if you think about it, yeah, that kind of makes sense. And how good you feel by just giving back. And then on top of that, the cherry on top of it is simply, hey, I'm also making money. I am feeling great. I'm having fun. And it's a delicious experience. All right. Hope you enjoyed these 3 videos. There's more coming. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hey, if you give a like, I'll appreciate that even more.